This conference will now be recorded.
So in today's session, we are going to discuss about the JSON format. We will see what exactly the JSON format, what is the use, how to prepare the JSON format, and what is the syntax to prepare the JSON format of content. And what are the various data types JSON supports, and how to represent the data in the JSON format we'll see, and how to parse the JSON format of content also we'll see as part of this concept. So today and tomorrow's session, we are completely spending the time to implement the JSON formats. We will see how to prepare the JSON format and how to parse the JSON format also. We'll see both. That is the JSON parser classes also. We'll see JSON generator also. Through programmatically how to prepare the JSON format also. We'll see with the help of JSON generator. Now, so first of all, we have to understand what exactly the JSON, what is the use, and how to prepare the JSON format of content. Now let's see. So when coming to the JSON, JSON stands for JavaScript Object Notation. JSON stands for JavaScript Object Notation. JavaScript Object Notation. It's a format which we are using to exchange the data between the multiple applications. This is one of the formats we are using to exchange the data between the multiple applications. Suppose, for example, let's take a general scenario. Assume that we have two people. For example, myself and my friend. One of my friends, some Ramesh. Assume that. Or else a third person, anybody, like some Shiva. So I want to talk to Shiva. How can we talk to Shiva? In order to talk to Shiva, we need a specific language. We need a common language. We need a common language so that whenever I'm expressing some information, he should be able to understand. Whenever he is giving the reply, I should be able to understand. That means we need a common language. Okay, we need a common language in order to have some discussion, in order to have some conversation. So for that one, we need a common language. Suppose, for example, if I'm speaking with Shiva in some Tamil, then he can't understand. He know only Hindi, English, and Telugu. If I'm speaking with him in terms of Tamil or in terms of some other languages, he can't understand. Suppose if the Shiva is speaking in some Malayalam, I can't understand. Because I know only few languages. Because we have so many languages are available in the entire world. We don't know all those languages. We can't understand all those languages. So we can understand some languages. So whenever if you want to have some conversation with the people, we need to use a common language. It may be Telugu, it may be Hindi, it may be English, it may be Tamil, it may be any other thing which can be understandable by the both the persons. Then only we can able to exchange the information. Like the similar way, if two applications wants to talk to each other, if two applications wants to talk to each other, then also we need a common language. Then also we need a common language. Now for that one, we are using this JSON format. Okay. Then also we are using this JSON format. Like for example, assume that assume that I'm having a banking application. For example, I'm having a banking application. So this is a banking application. I'm having a banking application. So which is used to automate my banking processes. Whatever the processes we are using inside our bank organization, to automate all those processes, we are using this banking application. So now this banking application has been built by using Java program. For example, this application has been built by using Java program. They have used the Java programming in order to build this application. To develop this banking application, they have used Java programming language. They have used Java programming language in order to build this application. And then we have another application also. We have another application. That is a finance application. As part of our organization, so we have started the banking division, okay, some 6 years back, and then our business is keep on growing. So many customers are expecting some loans. So many customers would like to utilize some financial assistance, so that we have started a financial organization as well. So we have entered into the finance domain as well. So to automate this entire process, we have built a finance application. We have built the finance application also. In order to automate all the financial processes which you are following inside the organization, so now this entire thing we can able to automate by using this finance application. So now this finance application has been built by using Microsoft.NET. Okay, by using this .NET programming language, so this application has been built. By using this .NET framework, this application has been built. So now both the applications are belongs to, okay, my organization only. We have two departments, we have two divisions. So now we have banking, we have finance. Like for example, when you go to that ICICI bank, so ICICI is not only the banking, they're providing some insurance services also. They're providing some financial services also. So they have entered into the so many business. When you go to the HDFC is not only the banking, they're providing some financial services also, insurance services also. So now like the similar way here also as part of our organization. So now initially we are into the banking domain, and recently we have started a financial organization also. Now, so in this case, so now as part of our banking, we have very good reputation in our country. We have so many branches are available, so many customers are utilizing our banking services. Now, from those customers, some of the customers want some financial assistance also. They would like to start a new business. So at that time, they need some financial assistance from one of the financial organizations. So that here they're requesting us to provide some financial assistance. So in this case here, so we are going to be suggesting these people. We are suggesting to our customers, please contact this financial organization. This is also one of our group of organizations. So please contact this organization. Those people are going to be taking care of financial assistance. So now in this case here, now we are going to be transferring this customer's information to the financial organization. So now these are the various customers who are looking for some financial assistance because they would like to start some small organizations. They would like to start some small businesses. For that one, they need some financial assistance. So please contact these people and then follow up with these people and then get the required information, and then you can offer the financial assistance for these organizations. So in this case here, we are referring to, because these customers are very valuable customers. These are very valuable customers who are having some very good credibility. They are our customers since very long time. We have very good relationship with these customers. So now these are very valuable customers. So please offer some financial assistance for these customers also. So that here we would like to forward this information to the financial organization also. So that I would like to provide some communication between these two applications. So whatever the customers are looking for the financial assistance, those customers' information I would like to pass to the financial application, so that finance application will receive this data, it can able to perform, it can able to process some financial assistance. And then it is giving some confirmation back also over here. So now as per your request, so we have offered some financial assistance also. Like that, I want to provide some communication between these two applications. Then how these customers can able, how these applications can talk to each other. So now in this case, whenever if the two people wants to talk to each other, we need a common language. We need a common language so that both the people can understand. Like the similar way, if two application wants to communicate with each other, okay, if two application wants to communicate with each other, then we need a common language. I want to provide the communication between these two applications over here. Then how these two applications can communicate? Suppose for example here, so now the banking application has been built by using Java programming, finance application will be utilized, has been built by using backend programming. So I want to provide the communication between these two applications over here. I want to provide the communication between these two applications. So how these two applications can communicate with each other? That means banking application will pass some data to the finance application. Then finance application will receive the data. It can able to process it. It will be sending some response back. Okay, it will be sending some response back to that banking application. So that I want to provide the bidirectional communication. I want to provide the bidirectional communication. So these two applications can communicate with each other. Okay, these two applications can communicate with each other. So I want to provide the communication between these two applications. So the banking application can send some request to the finance application, and the finance application will process that request. It will be sending some response back also. Both applications can talk to each other. Then how these two applications can talk to each other? So in this case, whatever the banking application is there, banking application is passing some data to the finance application. How this is the Java application. Whenever it is going to be sending some information, whenever it is sending some information, whenever it is going to be sending some information to the finance application, this information will be in the form of Java object format. This information will be in the form of Java object format. So in this case, banking application will know only the Java programming. It has been built by using Java programming language, so that it is sending the information in the form of Java object format. It will send one Java object to that finance application. So what is the Java object format? Java object format is purely in bytecode format. This is in the form of bytecode format. Java object format is bytecode format. Java object format is bytecode. This is the internal functionality of Java programming. This is the internal functionality of Java programming. So whenever I'm going to be sending some data from Java application to some other third-party applications, Java application is going to be sending the data to the other application in the form of bytecode format. Bytecode is one of the intermediate format which is supporting by the Java programming language. Java programming language is going to be supporting an internal format that is called as a bytecode. Bytecode is one of the format introduced by the Sun Microsystems as part of Java programming language development to make the Java as a platform independent. In order to make that Java as a platform independent, so they have introduced this bytecode format over here. They have introduced this a bytecode format. So now whenever it is sending this bytecode format of data to that finance application can't understand, because finance application has been built by using dotted programming. So now dotted programming internal format is MSIL format. MSL format. Microsoft Intermediate Language format. Dotted internal object format is MSL format. Microsoft Intermediate Language format. It's a different format over here. Bytecode format is different, MSL format is different. So in this case, if the banking application is sending some information to the finance application in the form of bytecode, then finance application can't understand. Suppose if the finance application is sending some data to the banking application in the form of MSL format, then banking application can't understand. Because both the applications have been built by using two different programming languages, which are running on two different platforms. So both the applications' internal object formats are different. So in this case, now this bytecode can't be understandable by the finance application. This MSL format can't be understandable by the banking application. So that in this case, we need to provide a common language so that both the applications can talk to each other. For that reason here, we are going to be using some intermediate language. Okay, for that one, we are going to be using some intermediate languages. We are introducing some intermediate languages which can be understandable by both the parties. So for that reason here, we are using some common formats. Those are either JSON or XML. These are the two formats are available which can be understandable by all the programmers. So that whenever if the two application wants to communicate with each other, we need a common format. Suppose I'm speaking with you, I'm giving some information to you. In which format? In English. Because all of you know the English, then only we can able to discuss. Suppose if I'm giving this information in the form of, if I'm taking up this session in the form of Tamil, then you can't understand because you don't know Tamil. Suppose if you're raising any question in the form of some Malayalam, then I can't understand. Because here everybody will know some specific languages, so that if the two people wants to talk to each other, they need a common language. We have to use a common language so that both the people can understand. Like the similar way, if the two application wants to communicate with each other, we need a common format so that both the applications can communicate with each other. We can interchange the data. We can pass some information from one application to another application, and then second application will give some response as well. Why? Because both the applications are heterogeneous applications, disparate systems. That means both the applications have been developed by using some different programming languages. This is the Java application, this is the .NET application. Java object format is bytecode, .NET object format is MSL. So both are different. So that here, in order to make these two applications can communicate with each other, we need a common language. For that one, we are using either JSON or XML. So in this case, in order to make the two applications can communicate with each other, we are going to be using a common format that is called as JSON or XML. Now, so what this common format will do basically, what this common format will do. So now in this case, for example, from the banking application, I want to send some data to the .NET application. Banking to finance application, I want to send some data. So now banking application has been built by using Java program. Now I would like to send some data in the form of a Java object. Okay, in the form of a Java object. We have a Java object which is having some data inside this, like as one customer details, like as customer code, customer name, customer address, his contact number, email ID, phone number, designation, like that. So some contact details of the customer is available. The customer data is available in the form of an object. So now I would like to send this a Java object to the finance application. But the finance application can't understand. Then what I need to do, I need to convert this Java object into the string format, a common format. For that one, we are using this JSON. What the JSON will do, JSON is going to be converting this Java object format into string format. String means what? Some characters. Now tell me, every programming language can understand the characters or not? Yes. String format will be understandable by all the programming languages, not only the programming languages which are available in the market right now, the legacy programming languages also. That means very older programming languages also will understand this string format, and the modern programming languages also, which may come in the future, those also will understand this string format. Because I would like to transfer this data over the network, because banking application is in India, finance application is in US. So at that time, to exchange the data, we are sending the data over the network. Whenever you are sending the data over the network, then if I'm sending the data in the form of a text format, string format, human readable format, then it will be very easy to transfer the data across the network over the internet itself. For that reason, what I need to do, I need to convert this Java object format. I need to convert this object format of data into the string format. String format. So this string format of data will be passing to the finance application. Okay, the string format of data will be passing to the finance application. Finance application will understand this string format of data. It will collect that string format. It will process that. It is going to be preparing the response. Response is in the form of MSL format here. That means a .NET object format. .NET object, it is preparing the response. Now what I need to do, I need to convert this .NET object format into the string format again, because the same response I would like to send back to my banking application. For that reason here, I need to convert this information into string format. Whatever the .NET object format is available, we have to convert into the string format here, and then this string format of data I need to pass to that banking application, so that this is receiving this string format of data, it can understand this string format, because each and every programming language, it may be Java programming, it may be the .NET programming also, every programming languages will understand the string format of data. Older programming languages also, legacy programming languages also, and the modern programming languages which may come in the future. Every programming language will understand the string format of data, so that we are extending the data in the form of string. So that here, whenever if you want to convert the data from object to the string format and string to the object, nothing but here, in order to convert the data from object to string format and string to object also over here. Now here in this case, in order to convert this information from the object to string and string to object, we are going to be using that JSON format. So for that reason here, for that reason, to convert the data into a specific format which can be understandable by the third party, which can be understandable by both the parties, we are going to be using in the form of the string format, which can be done by using this JSON format. So now, when coming to the JSON, JSON is a common format which is used to exchange the data between the multiple applications. In order to provide the communication between the multiple applications, we need a common format. The common format is either XML or JSON. So now in this case, when you compare this XML and the JSON, so now JSON is a very lightweight. Okay, JSON is a very lightweight, in which is a human readable format, which is purely the string format of data. And then in this case here, string format of data will be understandable by all the programming languages, so that most of the application, 99% of the applications are utilizing JSON format of content. Now, so in this case, when you go to the mobile applications, and then smartphones, tabs, modern programming languages, most of the applications are supporting JSON format instead of XML. Because XML parsing will be taking more time, JSON parsing is very lightweight, very easy to understand, because it is a human readable format in order to exchange the data between the multiple applications. So now here in this case, whenever we are going to be preparing a common format, so that both the people or both the applications can understand. For that one, we are using a common format that is either JSON or XML. From this JSON and XML, JSON is a very commonly using. Most of the applications, especially all the smartphones, are supporting this JSON format because it is very lightweight. It is very easy to prepare. It is very easy to parse. So that to exchange the data between the multiple applications, we are using this JSON format. In this case, what the JSON will do, JSON is especially designed to implement. Okay, JSON is especially designed to implement converting this object format of data into string. It will convert that string format of data into object format also. It will do both. So now in this case, especially by using this JSON format, we are going to be achieving the two functionalities over here. By using this JSON, we can able to achieve two functionalities. With the help of this JSON, what we can do, by using JSON, we can convert the object format of data, object format into string format. Whatever the object format of data is available, this object format we can convert into string. That object may be any object, Java object, .NET object, any object format also we can convert into string format by using this JSON. This process of converting the object format to the string format is called as marshalling. This is called as marshalling process. This is also called as serialization process. Serialization process. This is also called as pickling. Okay, pickling. Pickling or marshalling or serialization, all are same. So now in this case, what do you mean by serialization? Serialization is nothing but a process of converting the object format of data into string format. Because every object will be having its own internal format. Java object format is bytecode format. .NET object format is MSL format. So the bytecode format can't be understandable by the .NET. MSL format can't be understandable by the Java programming. So that here we are converting this object format into the string format because string format will be understandable by all the people over here. So that whenever we are going to be performing the serialization process, serializing means what? Whenever you are converting the data from object to string, we have to use a feature called as serialization. This serialization process is also called as marshalling or pickling. Now, and then we need to do the reverse process also over here. Sometimes the people are passing the data in the form of string. I need to convert into the object format also. Okay, object format also. So now here in this case, what we can do. So now whenever we are converting, convert the string format of data into object format is called as unmarshalling. Unmarshalling, this is also called as deserialization. This is also called as deserialization. This is also called as unpicking. Okay, unpicking. These are the two processes are available over here. Serialization process and the deserialization process. Especially JSON is used to perform the serialization and the deserialization process. That means we can convert the data from object to string and from string to object. Object to string and string to object. Now, so now in this case, when coming to the JSON, JSON is a common format. JSON is a common format, which is a human readable format, and which is going to be exchanging the data between the multiple applications in the form of string format, so that both the application can exchange the data. Both the application can have some handshake whenever we are having the integration. Upon having the integration between these two applications, we are going to be sending the data in a common format. That one of the common format is JSON format. So then now JSON stands for what? Just now we have discussed today here. JSON stands for JavaScript object notation. Okay, JavaScript object notation. So which is used to implement the both serialization process and deserialization process. serialization process and deserialization process. So what do you mean by serialization? Serialization is nothing but whenever you are converting the object format of data into the string format, then we are using the process called as serialization. Deserialization means what? The reverse process of serialization. That means if you want to convert that string format of data into the object format, then we can go with that deserialization process. Now, in this case, by using this JavaScript object notation JSON format, we can achieve the serialization and deserialization also over here. Then why this serialization deserialization is required? Why this JSON is required over here? Now, let me explain. For example, let me explain one small scenario. For example, assume that I'm having a web service or I'm having a third-party application. Like there is a web service called as, there is a third-party application, postal pin code. There is a third-party application called as postal pin code. It's the postal department application, Indian government's postal department application. So now what this application will do basically, this application is used to find out the postal department details based on that location, based on the city, or based on the area, based on the zip code. In that, based on that zip code, how many postal department branches are available, everything we can able to track. That facility is available to you over here. That facility is available. So in this case, suppose for example, assume that I'm staying in some Hyderabad. Okay, I'm staying in some Hyderabad, so which is in some SR Nagar. So now my area postal pin code is some 500038. So now in this SR Nagar, how many postal department branches are available? I want to know. Then how can we get these details over here? In this case here, postal department has introduced a web service. This is the web service which they have introduced over here. This is the web service. Here we can enter the pin code. Based on that pin code, we can able to collect the details. Let me place this one. Here we can specify the pin code. I'm indicating the pin code as 500038. When I press enter, I can get the details over here. This is the response. Now this is the response has been given by that web service. This response is in the form of string format. This is the JSON format of response. Now this is the response it has given over here. Now it is indicating that let me split this content so that we can understand. So now the message, number of pin codes, nothing but 2. Number of pin codes found is 2. Nothing but 2 branches are available here. So now it is indicating status is success. Okay, status is success. Operation has been success. What are the postal branches departments over here? Post office department addresses. This is the first department address. This is the first branch. This is the second branch address over here. This is the second branch address. This is the second branch address. This is the first branch details over here. Now it is indicating name of the branch, Sanjeev Reddy Nagar. Description, null. Branch type, sub post office. Delivery status, delivery. Circle, Andhra Pradesh. District, Hyderabad. Division, Hyderabad division, Hyderabad city. Region, Hyderabad. Block, Amirpet. State, Telangana. Country, India. Pin code 500038. This is the first branch details over here. Second branch, it is indicating that name of that branch here, Vengal Rao Nagar. Description null. Branch type, sub post office. Delivery status, non-delivery. Circle, Andhra Pradesh. District, some Hyderabad. Division, some Hyderabad. Region, Hyderabad city. Block, some Khairatabad. State, some Telangana. Country, some India. And the pin code 500038. This is the information it has given in the form of JSON format, nothing but string. This is a string format of content. What I need to do, I need to collect this data. I want to store this data inside my Salesforce object. Because whenever I'm going to be creating a new account record, okay, inside my account object here, whatever the billing postal code which I have entered, upon creating this record, I'm entering the postal code 500038. So based on this one, whatever the pin codes are, whatever the postal departments are available, I want to collect all those details. I want to store those details, okay, inside my separate table over here. I want to store those details in a separate table. That means I need to convert into an object format. This is what string format of content. This is the string format of content, which is having some collection of characters with alphanumerical values. So I need to collect this data from this web service. I need to store this information inside my object. So that I need to convert this data from string to object format so that I can store inside my object in the form of table or format in the records. For that reason, what we need to do, so now for that reason here we are going to be converting this data from string to object format. So at that time, we can go with that, okay, deserialization process, which can be done with the help of JSON format over here. Now, so that here, whenever if you want to convert the data, okay, whenever if you want to convert the data, then we have to use, okay, then we have to use the JSON format. Not only converting from string to object also, or we can convert from object to string format also, we can convert bidirectional, we can convert with the help of this JSON format. So that whenever we are interacting with some third-party applications, then to send the request, upon sending the request, we have to pass some data also. To pass the data, we have to use this common format, that is with the help of JSON. And then whenever I'm passing some input to my third-party web service, it will receive some data. Based on that, it will do some necessary processing. It will send the response back over here. That response we need to convert into my own object format, so that we are using a deserialization process. So that here, in order to implement both serialization process and the deserialization process, we are using JSON format. So JSON is one of the common format which will be utilizing by most of the applications. It is utilizing the JSON format to exchange the data between the multiple applications. Now, so in this case here, how can we use this JSON format over here? How to prepare this JSON format? How this JSON format will look like? What are the various data types will support? We'll see practically in this case. Now, so when coming to the JSON, JSON is one of the common format which we can use to make the multiple applications can communicate with each other. In order to provide the communication between the two disparate systems which have been developed by using two different programming languages which are running on the two different platforms, to provide the communication between these two applications, we are using JSON format. So now JSON format will be understandable by all the programming languages, all the technologies, all the databases, all the platforms, all the operating systems also. Each and every programming language, it may be older programming languages also, the current programming languages also, modern programming languages which may come in the future, every programming language will understand that string format of content. So that here, this JSON format will be backward compatible, forward compatible also. So that every smartphone, every mobile device is utilizing JSON format of content, because JSON content is purely in the human readable format, so which will be easy to understand, which is in the purely in the text format, so that everybody can understand this format over here. So which is very easy to parse. We can parse the content very easy as well here. Now we are parsing the content from string to object also, or object to string also very easy. So that here JSON is very easy to parse when compared with XML. XML is a heavyweight programming which will be taking more time to process, which is taking more time to parse. For that reason, most of the programming languages are using JSON format of content. When you go to some databases, especially like as a MongoDB. Okay, MongoDB has been especially purely storing the data in the form of JSON format. This is one of the database like as Oracle, SQL Server, Teradata, MySQL. Like the similar way, MongoDB is also one of the database which will store the data in the form of JSON format. Generally, databases are storing the data in the form of the tabular formats, in the form of rows and columns. But this MongoDB will store the data in the form of JSON format because JSON format processing will be very, very faster. It's very, very faster. For that reason, MongoDB is especially designed to store the data in the form of JSON formats. Now, then how can we use this JSON format of content? Now let's see practically in this case. Now, so now let's see in this case here what exactly the JSON format, and then how can we represent this JSON format of content? What are the various principles we have to follow upon implementing this JSON format of content? We'll see. So let me explain that. So when coming to the JSON format, JSON format, we'll see. So that you know that here, JSON stands for JavaScript Object Notation. Okay, JSON stands for JavaScript Object Notation. So now, why we are using this JSON? JSON is used to exchange the data between the multiple applications. To make the two applications can communicate with each other, to make the handshake between the two applications, which are purely built by using two different programming languages, which are running on the two different platforms, to provide the communication between those two disparate systems, we are using this JSON. So it is a commonly used message format for applications irrespective of programming languages. That means the applications may be built by using any programming. That may be built by using Java also, .NET also, SAP, Oracle, okay, it may be any SAP or Salesforce, anything, whatever. All the programming languages will support this JSON format because JSON is purely string. String format will be understandable by all the programming languages. This is the basic reason to make the JSON as popular. So that JSON is a very commonly using message format, okay, between the multiple applications irrespective of the programming languages. The application may be developed by using any programming language JSON will support. So that's what I have given this information. Any programming language can understand JSON. Hence, JSON is the most commonly used message format for interoperability. Interoperability means what here? Providing the communication between the applications. That means one programming language code we can use in another programming. So now here, this is JSON format of code we can use in any programming. In C also, C++ also, Java also, .NET also, SAP also, Oracle also, Salesforce also, everywhere we can use this JSON format to provide the interoperability so that to make that multiple applications, okay, interact with each other. And that already have indicated that JSON is a lightweight text-based open standard designed for data interchange. In order to exchange the data between the multiple applications, we are using this lightweight, nothing but very easy to parse. Parsing the content is very easy because JSON data will be storing in the form of string format. So now forwarding the string format of data over the network is very, very easy. Because even though if you're having some very secure systems like banking, finance, insurance, or some scientific related applications will be available. Pharmaceutical, these are very, very complex applications which are purely running behind the secured system is available. For those applications, okay, in order to protect the data, in order to protect the network and the applications from the unauthorized people and from the hackers. So even though if the application is, we can able to exchange the data with the help of this JSON format because JSON format is purely string format, so that it will be very parsing very easy. It is transferring the data very easy over the network, even though through firewalls also. If you're sending the data in the form of a message format in the form of like as an image, then that image may be having some virus. There is a chance that image may be having some virus content. So that here the firewalls will prevent you to send those kind of information. But here there is no such kind of chance because JSON format is purely in text-based format which can be transferred over the network very easily. For that reason, we are going to be using the JSON format of content to exchange the data between the multiple applications. Then who has introduced this JSON format over here? JSON has been initially introduced by a person called as Douglas Crawford. He is the author. He is the founder of this JSON format. So now the JSON format initially introduced by the Douglas Crawford. He is the person who has invented this JSON format of representation. JSON format of representation has been introduced by the Douglas Crawford. And then, so it was designed for human readable data interchange. Nothing but we are going to be exchanging the data in the form of human readable format. Okay, we are exchanging the data in the form of human readable format, which can be understandable by everybody. Everybody can understand. Every user can understand this format very easily because this is purely in the text format so that everybody can able to understand. That's what it is, a human readable format of data interchange. Now, so basically this JSON has been derived from JavaScript programming language. It has been derived from the JavaScript. So now JavaScript, one of the client side, JavaScript, one of the scripting language, which is especially using in the web programming languages to implement the client side scripting. Client side functionalities, browser side functionalities here. To avoid that server side functionality, we are using the client side processing that can be done with the help of this JavaScript. So that here JavaScript is purely client side, which is very, very faster will be executing in the browser side. Here also we can patch the content very easily because it is in the human readable format. So that here most of the applications are utilizing this JSON format of content. When you go to banking systems, financial systems, manufacturing, healthcare, it may be any application nowadays or mobile applications, smartphones especially, these are purely using the JSON format of content, not XML. Sometime before XML was popular, but now JSON is very popular. Now, so whenever we are storing some JSON format of content, JSON format of content will be storing inside a file with the extension .json. When you go to a normal notepad content will be storing inside a file with the help of an extension .txt. If it is a Word document, .doc or .docx. But this JSON format of content will be storing in the form of a file with an extension .json. Each and every JSON file will be storing inside your local system with an extension .json. Now, and the JSON's internet media type is application/JSON. Okay, the JSON format's internet media type is application/JSON. That means whenever we are informing to the third-party systems, please give me the response in the form of JSON. Then we have to inform. So now application/JSON. So that here I'm sending the request to you in the form of JSON, and please give me the response also in the form of JSON. Don't give the response in the form of XML over here. I can't understand. Please give me the form of JSON. That's what here to inform to the third-party system, we are going to be using this internet intermediate type that is called as application/JSON.
So now, JSON, which means it is a application. It's not any language or class or some sort of.
No, it's a format. It's a format. It's not an application basically. It's not an application. Okay, it's simply a format which we are going to be using to pass the data from one application to another application.
Okay.
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 Basically, it's not a specific programming language. It's not a technology. It's not a software also. It's simply a format. It's simply a format.
So okay. We will code in that also.
Sorry.
We will code in that also. In JSON also we'll code.
Right. In the JSON format, we have to represent the data over here.
Okay.
Like for example,
Sir,
simple concept. Yeah, tell me.
This will convert the format and it will send it to us, sir.
Right. Okay. Now, so now here in this case, for example, let's come to a general scenario. Assume that I'm having an object. Let's come to our general scenario to understand more. I'm having an object. Assume that this is an object here, which is an account object. This is an account object. As part of my Salesforce, I'm having this Salesforce account object is available. Inside this object, I'm having some 50 account records are available. I'm having some 50 account records are available. Now my requirement is I want to collect all these account records. I want to display these account records inside my Visual Force page. Or a debug log file, whatever, anything. Assume that this is my Visual Force page. In this Visual Force page, I want to show these records in the form of a tabular format. I want to show these records in the form of a tabular format, like as account name in this column, rating value in this column, and then industry value in this column, and the phone column, and the fax column. These are the columns data I want to fetch. I want to represent this data in the form of this tabular format. Now tell me generally what we can do. If you want to get the data and show inside your debug log file, for example, forget about this Visual Force, this is a debug log file, then what we can do? I want to show on the debug log file. Tell me what we can do first. How can we display all the account records in the debug log file?
Write a query.
We have to write a, right. First of all, we have to write a query over here. So we are going to be preparing a query. Now, we have to prepare a query over. Now, query means what? Request. We are going to be making a request, okay, from my application to the database. I'm preparing a query. Query means a request to database. So now I'm sending a request over. Now, how can you send this request now? Can I type that information? Now, please send me account record data to me. Can I write that sentence? Can I send that sentence to my database.com? Will the database.com can understand? No, right? Because database.com can understand some specific format. What is that format? We have to use some select statement. We have to use a select statement. We have to write that query in the form in a specific format. Select ID, name, rating, industry from account. That means I'm preparing the request in this format. This is the format will be understandable by my database. So that means what? Whenever we are making a request to the database, you are preparing the request in a specific format. If I'm typing like as, please send account records data, then it can't send. It can't understand my request. Of course, I can understand that sentence. Okay, please send account records. I can understand that. But my database can't understand. Database will understand some specific formats over here. Like the similar way, assume that this is one application. Application 1. This is some different application over here. Application 2. So whenever we are making a request to the second application, we have to send the request in a specific format. This format is nothing but JSON. Okay, like that we are going to be preparing the request in a specific format. That format is called as JSON, which can be understandable by both the parties. So JSON is one of the messaging format. In order to send some request to that third-party application, whatever the request you are going to send, that request we can prepare in the form of this JSON format. So JSON format is going to be understandable by all the programming languages, so that other third-party program application will understand your request. It will process your request. It will send the response back to you. So in this case, in order to exchange the data between the multiple disparate systems, we are using this JSON format of information. This is a common format. This is the format which we are preparing based on that application, so that we can send the data from one application to another application by using this JSON format. Okay, clear? Now, so now in this case, JSON is a very commonly using messaging format. Okay, in the real-time implementations, every application will be supporting JSON format, because JSON is purely designed with the help of the human readable format, which is purely in the text-based format, so that it is very lightweight upon transferring the data from one application to another application over the network. Because string type of data will not occupy much memory, it won't create any network traffic. String format of data will be transferring very easily over the network, so that it won't cause any performance issues, it won't create any network traffic. So data will be transferring very easily, and we can pass the data very easily as well. So that this is a very lightweight, human readable, interchange format between the multiple applications. Okay. So like here, for example, suppose I'm having a Salesforce application and having the Java application. Whenever if you want to make a request, then Salesforce will be having a different format, Java will be having a different format. So now Salesforce request can't be understandable by Java, Java request can't be understandable by Salesforce. So that here we are sending the request in the form of a JSON format, and then we'll send the response also in the form of JSON format. We can use a common messaging format. We can use a common messaging format over here. So now that common messaging format is called as JSON format. Now, the next one. So what is the use of this JSON format over here especially? What are the various uses of JSON? That already told you, JSON format is especially designed to have the process of serialization and deserialization. Serializing means what? We can able to convert the data from object format to string format is called as serialization. Because serialization. Because data is going to be passing over the network. So that if you want to pass the data over the network, we have to be prepared that data in the form of string format. Whatever the object format of data that we have, that object format of data we have to prepare or convert in the form of string. That string format of data we can transfer over the network very easily. For that reason, to implement that serialization process and deserialization process, we are using this JSON. So JSON format is used for serializing and transmitting the structured data over the network connection. Now, it is primarily used to transmit the data between a server and web applications. Like whenever we are going to be having the server and the client, then client is initiating the request, server is processing the request, it is sending the response back. Like the similar way. So now one application can send the request to the second application will process that, it will send the response back. So that to pass the data between these two applications in a common format, we are using the JSON format. Now, so now web services and APIs uses a JSON format to provide the public data. In order to expose the data to the third-party applications, each and every web service and each and every API, application programming interface, each and every API and each and every web service will be returning the result in the form of JSON format, and then it can be used with modern programming languages also, like as mobile applications and the future programming languages. Every programming language will understand this JSON format. So these are the main uses of JSON. JSON format is especially used to transfer the data over the network, okay, by converting them from string to object, and then we can retransfer the data back from string to the object also. Object to string, string to object, we can convert the data here, upon transferring the data from one application to another application. Every web service and every smartphone will be utilizing this JSON format of content. Now, the next one, the characteristics of the JSON format. What are the various characteristics are available for this JSON? You know that JSON is easy to read and write. Because this is string format of data, it will be very easy to read and it is very easy to understand. We can prepare the JSON format of content by our own also. We can prepare our own, or we can prepare through programmatically also by using some ready-made classes given by Salesforce, like a JSON generator classes. So in this case, JSON format of content is very easy to understand. Suppose, for example, just now we have discussed, I have invoked that web service. This is the web service given by the Indian Postal Department in order to get that information about the various postal department branches in a specific location. So that data is in the form of that human readable format. When you go to this one, this is purely the string format over here. Like as a name, it is indicating the Sanjeev Reddy Nagar. Description, null. Branch type, sub post office. Everything is in the form of the string format only, so that it is very easy to read, very easy to prepare, very easy to understand. This is the most benefit as part of this JSON. Now, the next one. JSON is a lightweight text-based interchange format. It is very, very lightweight because here it is transferring the data in the form of string. So string format of data will be transferring very fastly over the network. And then JSON is language independent. That means JSON format is not specifically a programming language. This is common to all the programming languages. This JSON format will be understandable by all the programming languages, irrespective of the programming language, irrespective of the technology, irrespective of the database, irrespective of the operating system, irrespective of the platform. Everything will be understanding this JSON format. So that JSON is language independent. Language independent means it is not dependent on a specific language. This is not specific to a language. This is common to all the programming languages. Every programming language can use this JSON. This is one of the major benefit of the JSON format, so that JSON format can be understandable by all the programming languages, all the technologies, and all the databases, all the applications also. So it is not specific to a programming, it is independent of programming languages. Now, so now here in this case, how can we prepare this JSON format of content? How the JSON content look like? How the JSON format look like? What are the various rules we need to follow upon preparing this JSON format? Upon preparing the JSON format, what are the various rules that we need to follow over? In the JSON format, we have to follow some set of principles. We have to follow some set of rules. We have to follow some set of principles and the rules while preparing the JSON format. Then what are those rules and the principles? Now let's see practically in this case. Now, simply in one word, I can say everybody know the concept of map collection. Everybody know the concept of map collection. You know what exactly the map collection? What is the use? How the map collection will store the data? You know that. Because map is a key value pair collection. Okay, map is a key value pair collection, where every element will be having the two values. First one is key, second one is value. First one is key, second one is value. Like for example, assume that I want to store some data here. I want to store some data, some fruits information or some customers information I want to store. I want to store inside a map collection. How to store this one? We have to pass that here, like some customer code. I'm indicating the value 1001. Customer name, some Ram Kumar, and the customer address, like some Hyderabad, and the phone number. It is having some value. These are the values that data is available with. How can we store this in the form of map collection? Map is going to be collecting this. This is as the key and this is the value. This is the key, this is the value. This is the key, this is the value. This is the key and the value pairs over. Now, like the similar way, exactly you will be having JSON format also. JSON is purely representing the content in the form of the key value pair collection. What is the key? Now let's see. Customer code, same thing here. Customer code, we can specify inside that double quotes, customer code, and then colon, and then we can specify the value. Customer code and then value. The second element over here, what is our customer name. What is the value? I'm having that Ram Kumar. Third element here, address. We can specify Hyderabad. Fourth element is what? Phone. We are having that value in the same value over there. We are representing here. So now here this entire content we are going to be indicating in the form of this curly braces, nothing but flower braces. This is nothing but your JSON. That's it. Over. This is the format. Nothing else. That means what? JSON content is always starting with a curly braces, ending with the curly braces here. Like whenever you are preparing a method inside your class, upon preparing a class, we are writing the code like this. Public class, some sample class. And then we are opening the braces, we are closing the braces. Here we are defining so many variables. Like the similar way, to represent that, to start that JSON format, we have to use that, okay, starting braces, ending braces with our curly braces here, flower braces. Now, JSON content is always representing inside this curly braces here. Inside that, we can specify that each and every information in the form of key value pair. This is the key, and this is the value. This is the key, this is the value. Both will be getting separated by using a colon. Key and the value will be separated by using the colon. This is one element over here. Second element will be indicating with the help of a comma over here. Element to element, this is one element, this is the second element, third element, and the fourth element. Elements will be separated by using a comma, and then in one element we have the key and the value. This key and value will be separated by using this colon symbol. That's it, nothing else. Now tell me, is it typical here? Is it look like difficult to you? No, right? Simple. You know the map collection concept. As part of collection, you know list collection, set collection, and the map collection. Now map collection is purely storing the data in the form of key value pair. Same concept in JSON also. Nothing different, no change.
Now, do we have any data types for this, or everything is taken as
yeah, we have data
string?
types. We have data types. I will come to the concept now.
Okay.
I will show you practical. Okay, each and every data type I will explain that. So now in this case, this is the element over here. This is one element. This element is having the key and the value, key and the value, key and the value, and the key and the value. So that we are going to be storing these elements in the form of key value pair collections. Now, when you go to the previous year, this is the response we have received. Now tell me, this is also key value pair, right? Yes, no change. So it is indicating this is one element over here, comma, this is the second element, comma, third element, fourth element, fifth element, sixth element, like that. This entire content has been placed inside this particular curly braces. So this is nothing but JSON format. JSON format content is always starting with the starting curly braces. This will be ending with the ending curly braces. So this is the format, this is the indication. Now, so each and every element will be storing in the form of key value pair collection, where the key will be having that the primary, nothing but the primitive, and the value will be either array also over here. It may be array, it may be a collection, it may be a single value also. The facility is available. This will be a facility here. Now in this case, we are specifying that key and the value both will be separated by using a colon, and elements will be separated by using a comma. These are few rules we need to follow upon preparing the JSON format of content. While preparing the JSON format of content, we have to specify. Always we have to start with the curly braces and then end the curly braces. In that one, we have to store the elements. Okay, in that one, we have to store the elements where every element will be having key and the value, and the key and value will be separated by using that semicolon. And the elements will be segregated by using a comma. These are few rules are available. Now, let me explain those rules also as part of JSON. Now, let's see rules of JSON. What are the various rules we need to follow upon preparing this JSON format of content? While preparing the JSON format of content, we are following some certain rules. So now here in this case, now JSON syntax is basically considered as a subset of JavaScript syntax, which includes the following. Okay, which includes the following. It's purely a client side. Data is represented in key value phase. Whatever the data you want to store, whatever the information you want to store, that information should be stored in the form of key and the value phase. Now, curly braces hold objects. Okay, in order to store the objects information, we are using this curly braces over here. Okay, we are using curly braces in order to store the objects information. I will tell you what is an object, what is integer, what is like a string, everything I will show you practically. Each and every data type will see. And then each name is followed by a colon. Each name is followed by colon. That means each and every key and the value. Key and value will be segregated or separated by using a colon symbol, and the key value pairs are separated by comma, nothing but elements. Key value is one pair, nothing but one element, and then one more key value pair. That means second element. Like that, elements will be separated by using this comma over here. And then, so now square braces are used to represent the arrays. Okay, square braces is used to represent arrays. Now let me show you. Suppose if you are writing some content inside this, the square braces, then this is nothing but array over here. How to segregate the element? Element 1, comma element 2. Element 2. Like that here. Element 1, element 2. We are segregating these elements here. This is nothing but array format. This is an array. 2 elements are there. This is one element. This is another element over here. Now here in this case, when you go to this one, here it is starting like as object. Nothing but 2 branches are available. This is one branch information. This is the second branch information. Okay, both the branches information they are stored in the form of a collection. Nothing but array. This is the array syntax in our JSON format. So that syntax is very, very important. Okay, syntax is very, very important in as part of JSON content. Now, so when coming to the JSON, whenever we are going to be representing the JSON format of representation, JSON content data will be always starting with a starting curly braces, ending with the ending curly braces. And the elements will be represented in the form of key value pairs. Element will be represented in the form of key value pairs, where each and every element contains a key. It will be having that value. It will be having key and the value. Now, key should be a primitive type, nothing but it's a string type, and the value may be either a primitive or it may be a collection. It may be an array also. It may be collection. It may be an array also. Arrays of elements also we can store. Now, so in this case, to segregate the key and the value, we are using this colon symbol. Colon symbol is representing key and the value. To segregate each and every element, we are going to be using this comma. Each and every element will be segregated with the help of the comma. Comma is a separator for elements. First element, comma, second element, comma, third element, comma, like that. We can segregate the elements by using a comma. Okay, so that here to represent that each and every element, we are using this kind of notations over here. So now let's see the syntax. The syntax will be look like this over here. Key and the value. Okay, key and the value. Whenever we are going to be preparing the JSON format of content, JSON content should be always starts with a starting curly braces and ending with the ending curly braces over here. We have to store the key and the value pairs. Okay, we have to store the key and the value pairs. Now, so in this case, here the syntax we have to follow. Upon preparing this JSON, we have to follow this syntax. We have to specify the key, which should be enclosed in double quotations, and then colon, and then we can specify the value. Here is the format. So now JSON format of content should be always enclosed with the curly braces, starting curly braces and the ending curly braces. We can specify the key and the value pairs. Now, so upon storing this data, what are the various data types this JSON will support? Well, representing the data, we are having the various data types are available as part of this JSON. Now let's see what are the various data types are available as part of this JSON format. Okay, now let's see practically in this case. JSON is supporting the various data types. What are the data types it will support? Let me explain and then let me show you each and every with practical examples. So now JSON is supporting the various data types over here. JSON supports the various data types like as number. You know, number means which is used to store some numerical values, including decimal points also. It may be only integer values or it may be decimal point values also we can able to represent. Okay, we can able to represent. In order to store that numerical values, we are using this number data type. Okay, number data type. Now let me give that information. Number data type. So what is the use of this number data type? Number data type will allow us to store the numerical values, including the decimal point values as well. Okay, that means we can store integer values and decimal values both. This data type is used to store the numerical values, including integer part and decimal part also. Then how can we store this into number data types over here? What is the syntax we have to follow? Now, let me give you the syntax. Syntax is this is the JSON format, you know that. JSON format of content will be in the form of, okay, enclosing with curly braces. Here we can specify the key and the value. Specify the key and colon and then specify the value. So this is the numerical value. For numerical value, we no need to enclose in the double quotations over here. Okay, key should be in the double quotation. Value we no need to enclose in the double quotation because this is a numerical. Okay, this is the numerical value. So this numerical value we no need to enclose in the double quotations over here. Now, like for example, I want to store some data. I want to store the customer code. Customer code colon 1001. This is the customer code which I would like to store. Customer code, I'm indicating the value as 1001. So that here this customer code value will be 1001. This is the numerical value. So we no need to store this numerical value in the double quotations. Simply we can able to specify that value directly itself. Now, sometimes I want to store some value over here. Annual revenue. Annual revenue some 25 lakhs. This is the number data type value. Next, I want to indicate here service tax. I'm paying some service tax over here. How much? Like as 2,500.50. Nothing but I'm going to storing this. I'm going to be representing this value over here. Service tax will be having. I'm paying some service tax to the government, like as 2,500 rupees and 50 paisa. I'm storing some product weight. Product weight is like some 45 kgs, 750 grams. Like that. Whenever if you want to represent some numerical values, then we have to use this number data type. So now upon storing this number data type information, we have to indicate the key and the value we no need to enclose in the double quotation. This numerical value, this number value will be either purely integer. This is the pure integer. There is no decimal points. Here we are having decimal points also. So that number data type will allow us to store both primitive values, nothing but integer values as well as decimal point values also. So now in this case, in order to represent that numerical values, we have to follow the number data type. This number data type will be looking like this. This is the syntax we have to follow. Key and then value. Value we no need to enclose in the double quotations. Okay. Numerical values doesn't need to be enclosed in the double quotations. Now I'm indicating this. Numerical values no need to be enclosed in the double quotations. That means in double quotes. No need to enclose these numerical values in double quotations. So directly we can specify the key and then the value. Next, the second data type. Second data type is string data type. What exactly the string data type? String data type is used to store some character values, nothing but some collection of characters we can store, including that special characters also. Including special characters also we can able to store. In order to store the character values along with some special characters, we are using this string data type. String data type allows us to store the collection of characters including the special characters. Now, so then what is the syntax we have to follow? Here we have to specify represent in that curly braces, specify the key, and then colon, specify the value. Because it is a character, so we have to enclose in that double quotations over here. Key also we have to enclose in double quotation, value also we have to enclose in double quotations. So both key and the value should be enclosed in double quotations. This is the syntax we have to follow for string data type. Like for example, now I want to store some information. Like I would like to store some customer name. Now my customer name is some Ramesh Kumar, so that I'm indicating some Ramesh Kumar. Both should be enclosed in that double quotations over here. This is also double quotation key and the value also double quotations. Next, I want to store some value, like some location. Colon, location is some Mumbai. I'm storing this value. I would like to store some rating value. Rating is heart, nothing but it is a string. I'm storing some industry. I'm indicating like some banking. So this is the banking industry. I'm storing that some email ID. I'm indicating like as Suresh Kumar @gmail.com. So not only storing the characters, we can store some special characters also. So that here, whenever if you want to store some string values, then we are going to be using this string data type over here. Now, so now here in order to store this string type of values, we are going to be using this string data type. Now, so now whenever if you want to store that string data type values, then we are going to be using this string data type, and then where we can specify the key and the value, both should be in the form of strings and which should be enclosed in double quotations. Next, the third one, Boolean data type. What do you mean by Boolean data type? You know, everybody know that Apex programming, you know that concept, nothing different. Boolean in the sense what type of values we can store?
True or false?
True, false. 1 and 0.
Right. We can able to store either true or false values. So in order to store the true or false values, we are using this Boolean data type. Now, this data type allows us to store the true or false values. In order to store true or false values inside our format inside your content, we are going to be using this Boolean data type. So then how can we represent this? Let me give you the syntax. Here we can specify the key name and then we can specify the value. We no need to enclose in the double quotation. So now either numerical or Boolean values. Numerical values and the Boolean values, no need to enclose in the double quotation, and the remaining data we have to enclose in the double quotation. So whenever we are going to be representing the numerical values or the Boolean values, we no need to enclose that value in the double quotation. Directly we can able to specify the value also. Like how can we store it? For example, I would like to indicate some information. I'm indicating this. Now the active status. Active status is I'm indicating the value true. No need to enclose this true value in the double quotation. I'm indicating. Is the product in stock? Whether the product is stock or whether it is in stock or not. Now I'm indicating that true. So now whether the card is blocked or not. Is blocked. Is blocked. It is indicating false. Whether the card is not blocked over. Can we delete the record or not? Can delete the record or not? I'm indicating the false. Like that, here we can able to indicate. In order to store the true or false values, we are going to be using this Boolean data type. Don't expect more number of data types like as your Apex. In Apex programming, more number of data types are available. But here very few data types are available. Now, we are having that numerical data type. We have string data type. We have Boolean data type. And then we are having a data type called as array. Okay, array data type. So what exactly the array data type? What is the use? Now let's see practically. You know the concept of array. You know the concept of array. What do you mean by array? Anyone? Okay. Now, array allows us to store a collection of homogeneous elements. That means similar type of elements. Homogeneous means similar type of elements we can able to store inside that element. In order to store a collection of elements of similar data type, we are going to be using this array over here. Now, so in this case, how can we define the array inside our JSON format? In our JSON format, how can we represent the arrays? Now let's see over here. Now, so how to store these values over here? Now, so in this case, how can we represent this arrays information over here? Now let me explain. What will be the syntax? I will tell you that information as well. Arrays allows us to store a collection of homogeneous elements. That is, arrays allows us to store the similar data type of elements. Similar data type elements inside the format. Then how can we represent this array? Suppose, for example, I'm having some set of elements are available. Like I would like to store some collection of customer codes. Assume that I'm having some customer codes, like as 1001, and then 1002, and then 1003, 1004. These are the 4 customer codes I have. How to store this one? We have to store in the form of a square braces here. Whenever I'm representing the information in the square braces, this is called as array. Each and every element we can separate by using a comma. Elements will be separated by using a comma, and these elements have to be get enclosed in that square braces, so that array elements will be always enclosed in that square braces. Array elements are always enclosed in the square braces, and each and every element in the array will be segregated by using a comma. Okay, now array elements should be enclosed inside the square braces. Square braces. Each element inside the array will be segregated by using a comma. Segregated by using a comma. Then how this array is going to be identifying the elements over here? Arrays are going to be identifying the elements based on the index starting from 0. Each element inside the array will get recognized by using an index position starting from 0. Each and every element inside the array will be getting recognized by using an index position starting from 0. Then how can we represent the arrays over here? Now let's see practically in this case. Now, the syntax. We can specify that, okay, curly braces, JSON format. In this one, we can specify the key and the element, nothing but the value. Value is nothing but an array over here. We can specify the array. In this array, we can specify the value 1, comma, value 2, value 1, comma, value 2, comma, value 3, comma, like that we can specify value 10. This is the JSON format. So now this is the JSON format here, and then this is the key, this is the array name, and these are the elements available inside this array. So that here, whenever if you want to store some collection of elements of similar type inside a single variable, then we can go with the arrays. By using these arrays, we can able to represent the elements. We can restore a collection of elements of similar type inside a single variable by using these arrays. Now, so in this case, how can we store these elements over here? Okay, now let's see practically in this case. This is the syntax. Now, for example, let me take a small use case. Now, define an array to store a collection of country codes or some customer codes, whatever. Customer codes which are numerical values. So now tell me, how can we define this array now? I want to define a array in order to store some collection of customer codes. But my customer codes are purely numerical values. Okay, these are not string values. These are purely numerical values. How can we store that? For that one, we are going to be defining the JSON format first. First of all, define the JSON format and then specify the key and the value. Now the key I'm indicating over here, like as I'm indicating customer codes. This is the key name, like as array name or the variable name. We can specify that, and then we can specify the column. Customer codes is the array variable, but I want to store some collection of customer codes. How to store? By giving the array format, nothing but square braces. In that one, store the customer codes, like as 1001, 1002, 1004, 1007, 1009, 1211. Like that, we can able to store that elements. So in this case, what happened? Whenever if you want to store some collection of customer codes which are of type numerical, we have to define a array. This is the key of the array. This is the values of this array over here. Even though I'm defining some array contains some elements, right? Array contains some name, right? Yes, this is the name of the array. If you want to collect these values, then we have to pass this key. Based on this key, we can able to collect these values over here. Now, suppose for example, let's take one more scenario. Take another use case. Define an array to store the country code, so the country names. I want to store the country names. I'm having some set of countries are available, like as India, USA, UK, Australia, Middle East, Germany, Japan, like that. I'm having some countries are available. Those country names I would like to store. Country names are what? String. Okay, country names are string type of elements. How can we store? Now let me explain in this case. I'm defining that JSON format so that okay flower basis. Now for this one also we have to give that array name, right? Nothing but key and the value. Key is what I'm indicating like as country names. You can give any name whatever you want. And then colon and then value. Value is what? Array. You can specify that array. In that one we can store the country name. So I'm indicating the country names. The first country name is like as some USA. Because these are strings, right? So inside the array, string element should be enclosed in that single quote. And then India. Comma, we are having some Australia. Comma, I'm storing some Japan. Middle East. And then I'm indicating some China. And I'm storing like some Germany. Like that, here we can able to store some collection of elements. This is my array name, and these are the elements are available inside this array. Here we can write all these elements by side by side, also no problem. For your easy understanding purpose, I have written like this. So this is the JSON format. Okay, this is the JSON format here. In this format, we are storing this particular element, and then this is the key, and this is the value. Value means what? An array. We want an array to store the collection of country names. To store the collection of country names, I would like to define an array here. In order to store the collection of country names, I am going to be using this array type. This is the fourth data type that we have as part of your JSON format. Next, one more data type, that is object. Let's see. So now what exactly the object data type of it? Now, you know, what do you mean by object here? Object data type. What do you mean by an object?
Table.
Sorry?
Table.
Okay, table. Then give some
Collection
more
of fields.
Collection
Collection
of
fields.
Fields means what?
Columns.
Okay.
Collection of non-homogeneous elements.
Collection of
Rows and
some.
columns.
Homogeneous elements.
Okay. Collection of what? Homogeneous or non-homogeneous?
Non-homogeneous.
Non-homogeneous, right. As of now, we have defined the array. In this array, we have specified the key and the value. But sometimes I would like to store the different types of elements. I want to store different types of elements. I want to store the different types of elements. In this case, how to store the different types of elements inside that JSON format? Now, for that reason, we are going to be using this. So for that reason, we are going to be using this object data type. So what exactly the object data type? Object data type will allow us to store a collection of the heterogeneous elements inside this. Okay, heterogeneous elements inside this one. Then how can we store this one? Okay, how can we store this one? Now let me explain in this case over here. Now, for example over here, let's come to a general scenario. Now, let's come to a general scenario. Now, so let's see that here. So now when coming to the objects, Object allows us to store a collection of different types of elements. A collection of different types of elements we can able to store inside this. That facility will be available to you over here. Now, let's see the object data type. Now, so object is a data type which has been given by Salesforce by default inside this. Now, for example, some create general scenarios. For example, I have a table. So this is the table that we have. Inside this table, I'm having some records. A single record is there. These are the columns inside my table. Like account name, rating, industry, revenue, and the active status is active. Now, this is my customer object. For example, here I'm having one customer record. Because the customer name is some Suresh, rating value some heart, industry some banking, revenue some 22 lakhs, active status some 2. These are the columns. Now tell me how to represent each and every value. If you want to represent the name, we are going to be preparing the format like this. We are preparing the format. Only to represent the name we are using. Name is of type string. So that I'm indicating name. Name, this is Suresh. Each and every element. Rating. Rating also of type what? String. This is a heart. Heart means some string value. Next. Industry. Industry value also, this is nothing but bank. So this is also string value. I'm having this revenue. Revenue is what? It is a numerical value, 2 lakhs. And then we have active status. What is that value? Generally, each and every element we are representing like this. Okay, every element will be representing like this. This is the independent element, separate elements. But now what? This entire data is nothing but one my record. In my record, I'm having all these values. Then how can we represent all these values over here? How to represent all these values? If I'm combining all these values, then only it is calling as my record. Nothing but one object over here, one record. So in this case, what happened? It is having that. Now this is nothing but string data type. This is string data type. This is string data type. This is numerical. This is Boolean. That means different types of elements are available. If you want to store the different types of elements, you are using object over here. If you want to store same data type elements, we can go with array. If you want to store different data type elements, then we can go with that object. Then how to prepare this object over here? Now let's see. Now, in order to prepare this object over here. So now first of all, we have to specify. There also we have to specify the key and the values. Here also we are having the key and the values. Now, here we can specify the key. I'm indicating like as customer record. Customer record. And then after that we have to specify the object, nothing but the values. What values are available? Not only one, multiple values are available. How can we specify that? We have to specify that braces over here. Why we are indicating braces is object will be representing in the form of braces again. braces. Here we can specify that. Now, in this case, we can raise a question. Sir, we can specify the square braces, then why you are indicating that, okay, curly braces? Why? Because if it is a square braces, every key value should be same data type. But here different values are available. This is a string, this is string, this is string, this is numerical, this is boolean. So for that one, object should be always enclosing in that square braces. Square braces. Now here I'm indicating that name. Name is what? Suresh. Suresh. Comma. This is the first element here. And the second element. Rating. This is heart. Comma. Industry. Industry. I'm indicating pantry. Comma. Revenue. I'm indicating 2 lakhs. Active. I'm indicating that's it. This is the way we are representing this object. So each and every object will be having the key and the value should be in the form of curly braces again. So in this case, inside this object, you can store different types of element. This is a string type, this is a string, this is string, this is numerical, this is boolean. So that here to store some different types of elements, we are using object data type. We are using object data. This is the way. So when coming to the array allows us to store the similar type of elements, homogeneous elements. Object allows us to store heterogeneous elements. Nothing, different types of elements we can store, okay, inside that object. So this is the major difference. So now in this case, whenever if you are storing that object, we have to specify the key and then the value. Key and the value. We are indicating that key and the value in order to store that information also inside this. Okay. Let me place this information when coming to the object. Object data type is used to store a collection of elements of heterogeneous type. A collection of elements of type heterogeneous type. In order to store the heterogeneous type of elements, we are going to be using this object data. Now, object should be always enclosed in the square braces. Object should be always enclosed in the square braces. We can place n number of elements inside the object by separating a comma. By separating a comma, we can store n number of elements inside this object. So in this case, how can we represent this object data type over? Whenever you are indicating that. So now we can specify the key. Key should be the primitive. Okay, key should be a primitive. And the value may be either object or arrays of objects also. Okay, when coming to the key should be always, okay, key should be always a primitive type, nothing but string type. Value can be either an object or arrays of object also. Like for example, let's see. Assume that this is one record information over here. Okay, this is some one record information. Suppose if you want to store one more record information, we can able to store in the form of arrays. The same concept they have used previously here when you have this one. So this is one object over here which is having some different values. We get the second object over here. All this object they have combined by using array. That's a simple concept. Try to understand this functionality. When compared with that Apex programming, it is purely opposite. Completely different syntax. Okay, but try to understand the syntax over here. Don't get confused. So in this case, Each object contains the key and the value. Each object will be represented in the form of and the key and the value fields. Key and the value fields. Key should be a string type, and the value can be an object. Value can be an object or an array of objects. An array of objects. We can able to store these objects information. Then how can we do that? Now let's see practically. What is the syntax? Let me give that. This is the JSON format of syntax. Here we can specify the key, that is the key name, colon. Here we can specify the attribute, nothing but object. This is the object one. Here we can specify the key and the value. Key and value. Key and the value. Like that, we can specify the key and the value pairs inside this. This is the syntax we have to follow. So whenever if you want to represent the objects, we have to specify the key and the values. But the value is nothing but an object over here. Value is nothing but an object. In this object, we will be having some collection of elements where each and every element will be having the key and the value pairs inside this. Each and every key and the value pair will be getting separated by using a comma, and then each and every key and the value will be separated by using a colon inside this. This is the syntax we have to follow over here. Now, how can we store this information? For example, assume I'm storing this information. Like as customer record. I'm indicating this. Now, I'm indicating this. Customer code. I'm indicating 1001. Customer name. I'm indicating some Srinivas. Address. Some Hyderabad. Salary. I'm indicating some letter, some 20 lakhs. And then I'm indicating phone number. I'm indicating the value. Now he is active. Now he is currently active, so that I'm indicating. Like the different types of elements we can able to store inside this object. That facility is available. Okay. So this is the way we are going to be preparing the objects. Okay. This is the way we are going to be preparing the objects inside your JSON format. So now here in this case, let's see. How can we prepare the sample JSON format to prepare an object to store some products information? Let's take some small uses. Prepare the JSON format prepare the JSON format to represent the product details. To represent the product details. So now here in this case, how can we represent the product details over here? Each and every product will be having some set of fields, like it is having the product code, product name, and it is having some unit price, the manufacturer name, okay, the manufacturer name. It is having whether the product is available in stock or not. All this information will be available over here. Then how can we represent this one? Now let's see practically in this case. For that one, I'm preparing the JSON format content here. Here the JSON object. Specify the key name. I'm indicating like as the product info. Product info. I'm storing the product details over here. What is the product information? So I'm indicating the product details like as product code. I'm indicating like as 450067. Then the product name. Product name. For example, I'm indicating like as laptop. And then I'm indicating manufacturer. Manufacturer. I'm indicating like some Dell Incorporation. And then I'm indicating unit price. Unit price. I'm indicating like the unit price is a numerical value, so I'm indicating some 45,000. And then I'm indicating the is in stock. Is in stock. Whether the product is available in stock or not, I'm indicating true. So these are the various elements over here which we can able to represent. So this is one product information. Okay, this is one product information over here which we are representing, which will be having some different values are available. So this is numerical, this is a string, and this is string, this is numerical, and this is a boolean. So whenever if you want to club the multiple different data types of element, then we have to use object format over here. Now JSON object will be able to hold a collection of elements of different data types. In order to store the different data type elements, we are going to be using this object data type inside your JSON format. These are few data types are available. These are the various data types are available as part of your JSON format. Okay. These are the various data types are available as part of your JSON format.
Whereas when will be the square brackets will come in the picture?
Sorry? Array.
Square brackets. Array bracket.
Arrays. Whenever if you want to represent the arrays, we have to use square brackets.
Means different product info of different products, multiple products.
Okay. If you want to store some multiple products, then now. If you want to store some multiple products information, then you can specify. Let me show you one more use case. I will show you. Prepare a JSON format to represent the multiple products information. In order to store the multiple products information, we can able to use this JSON format. JSON format, okay, the syntax is starting with curly braces, ending with curly braces. And then specify that key. I'm indicating the products info. I'm storing the multiple products information over here. And then here we can store the products information. How many products? 2 products information I want to store. For that one, we have to use array. Okay, we have to use array. In that one, store the 2 products information. Each and every product is what? An object here. This is one product information. So collect this product information over here. Like for example, first product information, because it is having so many data details are available, and then second product information. So now here write that first product. So now in this case, I'm indicating that product code. I'm indicating 23004500. And then product name, I'm indicating like as a mobile. And the unit price, I'm indicating like as some 15,000. And the manufacturer, I'm indicating like as some Samsung Incorporation. And whether this product is available in stock or is in stock. True, the product is available. This is the first product information. Now I want to store another product information also. Just to go to the second product here, nothing but second object. Here we can place the second product information. Second product is 2300. It will be having 9900. So this is a laptop. Unit price of 45,000. Manufactured by some Dell Incorporation. Product is available in stock or not? Yes, the product is available in stock over here. So now again in this case, I'm storing this product information. These are the product details are available over here. Okay. So this is the first product information and the second product information. Here the second product information. To store the two products information, we are using this array. This is the array which will be holding two products information. To identify this array, we are having a name over here. This is the array. And this we are representing in the form of JSON format by using the starting of the curly braces, ending of the curly braces. Like that we can represent. This is a way we can able to represent the multiple objects information. So not only one object information, multiple objects also we can represent by using this arrays. Okay. In tomorrow's session, we'll see so many examples of this one. Completely the use cases we'll see practically. How to prepare this JSON format of content, everything we'll see practically. For object records also, for Apex classes also, how to prepare this JSON format, and for the wrapper classes also, how to prepare this JSON format. Everything we'll see practically one by one. Okay. So these are the basic terminology. This is the basic syntax that we have to use upon preparing this JSON format of content. Okay.
Sir, date, time, percentage, everything comes in the string. Okay.
String. Okay.
Okay.
Feroz, for this, we need to learn some basics of JavaScript. Is it required or not at all?
Not required. Not required. JavaScript is different. JSON is different. Whatever the information that I'm giving to you as part of JSON, that is sufficient. Is the basic information, complete information how given to you. No need of any other information. JSON is only a format to represent the data before sending to the third-party system. That's it. Okay. As part of this JSON, we'll see how to prepare. We are discussing right now. This is what we are preparing. How to send this request to the third-party system, we will see. And then, if the third-party system is giving this kind of response, how can we parse? How to collect this kind of information from third-party systems, how to convert into our own object type, how to store inside our database, how to store, display in the user interface, everything we see practically as part of this concept. Okay. So now go through this information. Okay, do the practice of this one today. Tomorrow we'll see some more practical use cases. And along with that, we'll see tomorrow we are going to be discussing about the concept of JSON parser classes. Before going to the JSON parser class, I would like to take some more practical examples. Okay, on this JSON format preparation. How to use this JSON parser classes also we'll see. Along with that, we'll see JSON generator. We'll see the JSON generator classes also, how to prepare the JSON information.